Have you ever listened to the Tarzan soundtrack?
Yeah, Ree's obsessed with it, dude. Phil Collins.
So good.
Yeah,
man.
it's really good. No, I've legitimately listened to it so many times because Rhea is obsessed with that one, and she's obsessed with the Stallion Spirit of the Cimarron, the horse one.
Yeah. Well, that's Bryan Adams.
Yeah.
So those are two.
Phil Collins and Bryan Adams.
Those are two soundtracks from Disney movies that like were absolute masterpieces of albums.
Are you doing Movember this year?
No. Do I
Me
look like
neither.
that? No. Should I?
Did you do it last year?
I don't want
No.
that to be the first time my kid sees me.
Have you seen the pictures of George's birth?
Did you have him?
Yeah, it was right before regionals.
Yeah.
Remember I had a
Oh,
mustache
yeah.
in regionals?
Your kid's not going to remember that. Come on.
They can't actually see.
Well, there you go.
They
You know,
can see.
Like, they could see like.
Isn't it just like a big blur? Like they just see like shapes?
Isn't life just a big blur?
That's how you want to start this one off.
I need to time my full body shave with his birth, like
You're
skin to skin
What
contact.
episode are we here? What
This-
episode do you think?
Ooh, I think we're in the 20s.
Wow.
Yeah. We're in the 20s of the vlog for sure because I put that in the title.
The vlog.
Because I think we talked about your full body shave in the inaugural
Yeah.
podcast.
I asked them. That was the first question
Yeah,
I
we
asked
did.
on this whole podcast was, Rez, how do you keep
You're
such a
right.
nice shave? That's the first question I asked.
So let's talk maybe about your body fat percentage.
That's a great story. So we got
I was a little insecure taking my shirt off today.
we got this thing yesterday. For those of you guys watching, for those of you guys aren't, it's an in-body scanner.
Yeah. We purchased an in-body scanner, which is a body composition machine that's been very popular in the world of fitness in the last couple of years, and it's a very accurate reading of several markers. And we got it last night, and we're going to start using it with our members and start using it with our nutrition program, and we just all decided to get on there.
Mm-hmm.
And one at a time, we got on and tested our body fat percentage and our
Rez and I were
lean
quite
body
let down.
mass. And
Yeah, Nate and I.
I think I honestly, like all the things he said, like don't do it after you work out, don't do it after you
Yeah.
eat, don't do it when you eat. I was all of those things.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm 12% body fat.
Yeah,
I really don't.
Nate-
I redid it this morning.
Yeah, so did I.
Was it different?
I was 3% higher.
You know why he was 3% higher though? Because he was lighter. You're lighter in the morning, so like literally.
you were 16% body fat this morning.
15. I was 12.
You were 13
no, I
last
was
night.
12 something last night.
High 12 something because I was
No,
low 12
like
something.
dude, it's in my story. I think it's like 13.6.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Seriously?
sure.
I took a
Yeah.
picture of it.
I knew you were at least 1% higher than me.
I thought it was 12.6.
When I used that little hand thing, it would tell me I was like 7.
You would tell me I was like 16.
Yeah, so yours is consistent. I think mine was wrong last night.
I think what's very important to remember.
I haven't eaten since.
I would be extremely happy if I was actually heavier because that's my goal my whole life to this point is to put on weight.
Yeah.
I've never been able to. So, I mean, that'd be awesome, but I don't think that's the case. I don't
You're
see
lighter
that.
than you were last night.
What do you mean?
Or you mean put on weight in general?
In life, like
yeah.
my last 23 years of living, I've been trying to put on weight and it hasn't happened. I was actually surprised how light I was yesterday too, though.
What did you weigh last night?
171.
Yeah, I was super impressed with that. Not impressed, but surprised.
Yeah, surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Embarrassed? Is that the word?
No, that I was actually really surprised at how light Derek was.
Yeah,
I thought
me
Derek
too.
was heavier than that.
Derek killed it.
Derek,
Yeah, he
Derek
A+.
came out hot last night.
Yeah.
Like he came out hot with like a 172
I think-
body weight.
I think
and
he
then
knew.
like a 9.5 body fat percentage.
I'm not. I think Derek, like someone told Derek that this was going down, and he like trained for
prepared.
this moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all
He
week.
in-body for that in-body reading.
Yeah.
He was sneaking
Absolutely.
in all
He looked
those
really yellow
cardio
too. Like I don't
sessions.
think he was drinking much water.
Well, dehydration actually increases body fat percentage.
Yeah, that's why mine was high, I think.
Yeah.
So
no,
he-
yeah. But because it makes sense because your body fat percentage is based on your overall weight and like basically that machine just like sends a current
Mhm.
into your body, right?
Did
like,
you guys feel the current? I
No.
felt the current.
No,
No,
you
I thought you were
I
joking.
did.
you didn't
I
feel the
did.
current. No.
I definitely did. I
That's in
felt
your
it.
head.
I didn't like it. I was uncomfortable. It might have been in my
Do you
head.
guys want to hear something really disgusting?
No.
So I went. You know how Mitch Barnard said like your feet were super calloused or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just like took a look at the heels of my feet, and I remember
Nasty.
I like ran up and down Tremblant a couple months ago.
Yeah.
I had the massive, like the biggest piece of dead skin on both my heels. Like it was like,
Yeah, it's like
So that was helping you
this
last
big.
night. That was helping you.
yeah.
Yeah, clearly, because I got fatter today.
Here, so what's it? Here,
Anyway, it was gnarly.
Yeah,
I had to
before-
peel it off.
Yeah, so I don't want people to be listening and be like, "Well, this reading is bullshit" or whatever. But this is it's good information to have, and all that matters is like, hey, if you test this today, I don't really give a shit about your results.
No.
I give a shit if in 3 months after cleaning up your diet, increasing your frequency in the gym, that your numbers are going down. That's it. So
Yeah,
like if
exactly.
in 2 months you test that again and you probably won't because you're gonna have a kid and everything's gonna go to shit and you're gonna have a dad bod in no time.
You'll be at home for 2 weeks doing nothing.
I'll train at home.
Yeah, you know what? You were saying 2 weeks boring. Like, you know what? Those were the best 2 weeks of my life.
I know. I don't know anything
Yeah.
about that, dude. Don't listen to what I'm
No,
saying.
but it's like
Did you cry when your kids
I
were born?
thought
I feel like I'm gonna cry.
I feel like I would.
teary-eyed.
I feel like I
Teary-eyed.
would.
Definitely teary-eyed.
I feel like I would just be like, oh, thank God Ree's okay.
I remember
You
when
know what I
Felix
mean?
was
Yeah.
born. I was emotional. I was like, holy shit, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was a big deal until I saw you guys in the room, and I'm like, oh my god,
I
they have
still
PT
don't-
as a kid
I
now.
still don't
Like,
think
that
it's a big
was
deal.
Nuts.
Yeah. But it's like you'll have fun, man.
Can't wait.
You're just like, first of all, the 2 weeks just like whizzes by. It goes by so fast.
What do you
a
do?
long
You just
time.
lie there on the couch with him?
Oh man, you just your new life, man.
Yeah.
It's just like it's something.
It's like
Everything every day is something new. It's like,
you know,
Yeah.
you
I
get into like this routine.
I picture it as like, when you get a brand new iPhone,
I just did that.
yeah, and like there's like all these cool new things on it, and like
Well, no,
but it's
iPhones
like-
are always
it's
the
like
exact
that
same.
On like
They never change.
it's like that times like 100.
Okay,
But like let's say you
that's a
had
bad
an
example.
older iPhone.
It's a terrible.
were running
example.
Yeah.
old
let's say you
operating
let's
system.
say you
I
switched.
love.
Let's say you switch from an iPhone to a Galaxy.
Sure.
Let's go there.
Okay, or your first iPhone ever.
No, you know what it is. You know what it is. It's you've never seen a smartphone in your life.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
you're
then
using
you
a Motorola
purchase
Razr.
smartphone.
Yeah.
You go from your flip phone.
Yeah, that's better.
Let's say you go from your Palm. Remember those Palms?
Palm Pilot.
Yeah, Palm
Yeah.
Pilots. You go from your
Yeah.
Palm Pilot to an iPhone, and you're like, wow,
But
That's crazy.
what's the equivalent to a Palm Pilot when you don't have a kid? Just your life in
a
general.
dog.
A dog.
This guy
Okay.
had a
like,
dog for a while.
Like
You had a
gotta,
dog?
like-
What happened? You didn't like it?
I love how all these questions right now are like a very good segue for what we're actually going to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. It's
It
great.
is.
Let's keep this going though.
Yeah, I bought it. I got a dog with an ex-girlfriend. Yeah, if anyone listening, it's a bad move. Don't ever do that.
With
Whoa.
a girlfriend?
Yeah. well,
No,
yeah.
just buying a dog in general, I think.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah,
like
just
dogs. Right?
Like if if you're married to someone and you guys decide you want a dog, I think that's
How long were you dating this girl for?
Oh, it was such a I don't even have an answer to that question. Like we were just on and off. PT
Right.
remembers her. It's just
Because like Rhea and I are like
I wanna
would
s-
actually I'm not
I
I
wanna
don't
talk
I'm not
about it.
don't want to think about it yet, but might get a dog at some point.
Yeah, sure. Get
don't
a dog.
do it. Don't do it.
Really?
That's my advice. Yeah, don't do it.
I don't want to just because of it's like a kid. You then are responsible for something. I'm not ready for that yet.
Yeah,
I want to do me,
yeah,
not another person.
yeah. Except for like when you go to work, I can't just like put my kid in the cage. But
That's true.
Yeah, but usually you can do that with dogs.
That's true. Well, I mean, and like, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah, that's a good point.
But yeah, I just
Like you want to earn, like if you want to learn about responsibility and stuff like that, like get a goldfish. you know?
Yeah.
If you want to know what it means to like actually feed something, like
Yeah.
you can get that.
Keep it alive.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Or a plant.
I was
a
so
plant. You want to get a plant?
no,
You,
we're
like,
dude. We
put
kill
water on
plants.
it?
We
yeah.
kill them.
So why do you
Yeah.
want a dog?
Yeah.
I don't. We want a dog. Ree wants a dog. We want a dog
Okay.
at some point. Not yet though.
No dog for you.
At least not for a little bit. And if I did, I want an English bulldog, like a purebred $3,000 English bulldog, like a man's dog. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like just like sits there. That's what I want.
Couldn't tell you what that looks like.
Slobbers.
Yeah, but they're pretty cool. You don't know what an English
If
bulldog
I
is?
wanted a dog, honestly, if I was to get a dog, I would get Rizza.
Yeah, same.
If I could get exactly that dog, I would consider it
Yeah,
because that's a fantastic
same,
dog.
Same.
Yeah.
It would have to be like a clone though.
Yeah,
Like her, I
Yeah.
feel like her temperament.
like
is
it doesn't
one of
doesn't
Well, that's it.
shed.
Yeah,
it's
temperament, it's
a
like-
chill dog. He listens or she listens,
hmm
but that's also Pete like training her really well.
yeah. I think Ree could do that, but anyway,
takes a lot of time, man.
takes a lot of time.
Have
but
we been talking for 10 minutes already?
Sure,
Oh man!
but you want to know what's awesome? The podcasts are gonna get so much better now because we don't have to worry about the timing of these things.
Oh yeah,
yeah, we
that's
don't
true.
ruin
That's
the
great.
flow.
No, we can
But,
literally
like,
just
I
go.
hope people weren't like, "Hey, are these guys gonna get to it?"
No,
The
dude.
podcast today actually doesn't really have a huge.
Well, it kind of does.
subject.
It's like
Well,
just what I mean. I think in general, the reception we've gotten is the best ones are just when they're off the cuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, oh, this
So
is funny.
should we? Tell
Well,
them what
yeah.
we're
So
talking
welcome
about?
to the NCR podcast.
Welcome.
I guess so. 5-year anniversary just passed.
Yeah.
So the purpose of today's podcast is to record a podcast, but also to talk about stories that you guys have encountered in the last 5 years. Fun times,
I think
tribulations.
I'll just start by clarifying something. It's our 5-year anniversary of our official grand opening. So we started. Is he in his car?
No, Benny just got out of his car and
Oh.
PT flipped him the bird as he was walking. in.
We actually opened in March 2013.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
February, actually.
Yeah, February. You're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
February.
2015.
And then I think we started taking like members in March.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Wait,
so
you
we
opened-
we were in such a rush to open up and get our affiliation because we wanted to do the open here.
Yeah, we wanted to
Oh.
like
We
represent.
yeah. So like we
NCR
didn't
issues.
have our renos weren't done. We barely had a membership software. You know, we had a little bit of a
Did
bathroom
you
in
use
the
the
back.
membership softwares back then? Did all gyms or did a lot
Yeah.
of the gym I started at literally had index cards, like a
Yeah,
Rolodex.
We used an Excel spreadsheet, I think.
Started with an Excel spreadsheet that I still have, and I love going through that Excel
That's awesome.
spreadsheet.
And we also had like a manual form that people would fill
Yeah,
out.
we had a form. We still have those as well. I
Those are
kept
funny.
all of those, and that's where we found. Eric Pereira's original form.
That's
It's
right.
because we didn't have the membership software.
Right.
We didn't start with it. Like
Right.
I was still trying to figure out if we wanted to use MindBody
Mhm.
or Zen Planner. So we had this form that we get people to sign.
It's funny too. It was like back then too. We were so new to business and that was an expense. It was like it's nothing to us now, but it was
Yeah,
like
yeah. You don't want to
it's
spend
like
it.
$100 at the time.
Yeah,
We
it
were
was
like,
less
we're
than
not
that.
gonna spend
It
that
was less
unless
than
we
that,
need
yeah.
to. Like yeah, it was like $50
Yeah.
a month.
Feel
I
ya,
was
dude.
writing like I went to Home Depot. I went to Staples and I bought like a manual receipt.
Mhm.
Like little
Like a notepad with
yeah,
like you
manual
just-
receipts. So I was writing manual receipts to people.
Did you guys? How did you guys start up? Did you like bankroll it yourselves, or did you like go to a bank, or how did you guys start that?
No, we had an investor to
Right.
help us out with the
Initial stuff.
with the initial stuff and like with the loan
Right.
but
Well-
Reza and I first we put in our own money.
Yeah, funny story. We thought we had enough money
Yeah.
to kickstart this business.
Right.
And then
Like
it took us a year to find a location that we liked.
Uh huh.
And it happened to be this place. And we were kind of desperate at that point, like to find a spot.
Mhm.
And we just kind of pulled the trigger on this place. And like little did we know, we knew what the place needed to be functional. We just didn't think it would be as expensive as
yeah, just
it
like
was.
basic rookie mistake like oh yeah, this will cost this much, this will cost this much with like
Right.
zero knowledge of anything.
Yeah.
And like even our like people who we knew would be like, "Oh yeah, this wouldn't be too expensive. Like this will be this
Yeah.
much." And you're like, "Okay, so we'll be good then. We have enough money."
Yeah.
And then, we get into the renos, into the plans, and then, oh, wait, we need engineers to stamp this because we're taking it to the city.
Oh boy.
Oh, wait, we have to
Building
go to the city. We
permits.
need building permits.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't do it this way. You need to trench the concrete. If you don't trench the concrete, then you have to have elevated floors. Oh, if you have elevated floors, then you need
Fire
a sprinkler
hazard, yeah.
system underneath. And it's just like you can see how like the dollar sign
Oh,
just like,
boy.
yeah, it goes up and up and up.
That's crazy.
And then that's when we needed an additional
More money.
injection.
Yeah.
So like Reza and I funded the first portion, and then we had an injection for the second portion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys, either of you, do anything like have your own business before this, or is this the first one for both of you guys?
Nope.
No, first one.
I ran a blog. It's called Ottawa CrossFit.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Did you like make money from it?
No, I just
Oh.
like I don't know. I don't know why I did it.
Yeah, because you liked it, dude.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
And like you got to think of what CrossFit was back then too, and the CrossFit kind of community in Ottawa. There's
It's
only
tiny.
5 gyms.
Yeah. It was
Yeah, well, and probably when everyone started it, it wasn't as a business. It's because they wanted to have a CrossFit gym.
Yeah. And honestly, I'll tell you, very honestly, if we did that today, the way we did it back then, I don't think we'd survive.
Yeah, out of business
I don't
quick.
think we'd survive.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it. So Halifax was crazy for that, dude. Like so many gyms have come up and fizzled out so quickly.
But like
that's lived and died on Groupon because they just were like, oh boy, we need money.
We never did that though. I was always very against having the Groupon, and so was Reza. So we never did that.
Yeah, I was Adam Foman, who owns CrossFit Closer now. Him and I were good buddies who grew up together, and we were gonna open up a gym together.
Yeah.
And then we kind of decided we just weren't going to do it. My vision of a CrossFit gym was like something big.
Right.
His vision was something small and to grow into something big.
Intimate, yeah.
So we just kind of fizzled out. And then I actually remember the day PT asked me, he's like, how come you haven't opened up your own gym? Because we were training in a gym that was like the size of the room we're in right now.
Right.
And he was like, how come you haven't opened up your own gym? And I was just like, funny you say that. Like I always wanted to.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, let's do it. And I was like, okay, let's chat. And I'm like, here, like, and I was just kind of like, I want a big gym. You know, I want to start big. And he was down because. So
you weren't like risk opposed to that though?
No, because I knew I was so confident at that time, right? Like I'd been around that community for long enough, and I knew exactly what would thrive.
We
you know what I mean?
we were very aware of what was already out there too.
Yeah,
and like. I remember thinking of like the Toronto scene and the Montreal scene, and then just looking at that and being like, they're about 4 or 5 years ahead of us, and where they're at now, they have gyms like what we're at right now, and they have these gyms like I remember the Christinis. Remember going to see that gym, being like, this is a
or like
big
Elements.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like this is a massive CrossFit gym that can accommodate hundreds of people, that you can have massive classes with 10 to 20 rowers and the right equipment. And that was kind of our vision. Our vision was like, let's go big. Ottawa doesn't have a big gym, and that's where we're gonna go eventually. And it's funny because we even needed to go bigger, very soon.
So when you guys first started, if you wanted, that was your plan. You didn't have any employees or anything though when you first started, right? It was just you two.
Yeah. So we left the gym that we were at in Luzin with a couple people. Okay. We had Andy Stewart, Jamie Collins, and we had Milan. So basically, like the team that we went to the games with. Because Kyle, who's on our team, ended up going and opening up 613 later on, and Nat just went back to the gym that she was training at before that. So they were helping out, and that was like in the age of, hey, I'll trade you a membership for coaching a couple classes a week, like very, very not bush, but just like start up.
Yeah,
I
get it.
Not as
handshake. Yeah, not professional, just kind of a handshake. And so they helped us out big time for growing the gym at first and coaching, because this guy was still working.
Yeah, I was still working.
Yeah,
like part-time. I was working full-time at one point when NCR was on the table and we were talking about it. And I remember at that time, I'm not saying this was a good thing that I did, but I worked at the Boys and Girls Club, and I had a computer there. So, a lot of the stuff that happens before you actually open a business happens like on the back end. And I would just go spend so much time at my other job.
I feel like I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
we would train in the morning, and then you would go to work.
Peace out. Yeah.
Yeah. I would keep training.
And then, I would just do a bunch of stuff for NCR, and then NCR started, and I moved down to part time. And
do you remember when you quit that? Was it like less than a year, or was it? I feel like it was.
I don't know, but I just remember you getting really pissed off at me
for quitting.
No, for having another job.
Oh yeah.
At one point I was getting busy.
Yeah. Well,
I'm like, enough's enough. Like you want to live from this? Like we can. We can have both of us here full time. So like, quit your job.
And I remember that was so weird for me. Like first day I woke up and I just didn't have to be anywhere else but the gym. I was like, this is nuts.
Was it?
I felt guilty.
Was it because you were risk averse in the sense that you were worried about losing your 9 to 5 in case this fizzled out? Is that why you didn't want to jump in right away?
No. Like I owned a house back then, and I had to pay a mortgage. So like that was, like I needed to make money. But it was also just weird, man. Like what did you want to say?
I was gonna say, like, in everything that we've done, like in every decision, I feel like Reza and I, it's always like Reza's always the risk averse.
Yeah.
So like for him to quit his job, like that was huge. I remember like showing him the numbers and you know, projecting like this is what we can do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're here full time, this is what we can achieve,
Mm-hmm.
and this is what we can pay ourselves. And I remember it was a big decision.
Mm-hmm.
It was huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was scary. It was
Yeah.
really scary.
But
Yeah.
we found some success like very early on.
Right.
You know, we had 100 members at our grand opening, which was
Mhm.
6 months in.
What was our number? Our Vegas number?
I don't know.
Was it
This
100?
guy always said like, let's get to 300 members and take a trip to Vegas.
Like,
And
it was
I-
like no, it was like it was either 100 or 200. I'm
Maybe
like, we
two-
drop
I don't know.
everything and we go to Vegas for the
Yeah.
weekend.
And
And
then-
like we got there so fast and like we're just like we're not fucking going to Vegas.
Yeah.
it was more
Yeah,
like
yeah.
now that we have these members, there's more work to be done.
Right.
You know, and it's
Oh, absolutely.
that's 100% like the more members you get, the more work you do, and the
Yeah.
more people you have to hire. The
Well,
more it's just more
Yeah, and it just
business.
goes to show like who's actually cares about their business, because like if your thing is like when I get to a certain dollar amount I buy a Rolex, if you get to that dollar amount, most people who actually care about growing the business see it as like, okay, sweet, instead of buying the Rolex, let's reinvest this back into the business
Yeah, well,
and grow it even
another
bigger.
really funny part about like getting more members is like your expenses actually increase, right?
Yeah.
I think that's
because you have more classes, you have more
Yeah.
coaches, you
Yeah.
need more equipment,
You need more
you need more
space.
space. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, exactly. Yeah, and people
There's a
probably
sweet
don't see
spot,
that.
but yeah.
People probably don't even think about that with the gym
it's
too.
just funny because like I feel like back then we thought like 100 members like we're rich, you know? And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like,
Well, that's
it's
what-
not the case at all.
Well, that's, I mean, because you go to open up a gym and then you do some quick math in your head,
Mhm.
and you're like, yeah, I have 100 members at this much. This is my rent. Oh my God, I'm taking this much home every month, but then
Yeah.
you're not taking into account any other expense in the gym.
Yeah, like you're coaching every single class
yeah,
and like
exactly.
just
So-
unrealistic stuff like that.
Yeah. And like we kind of made those mistakes too. Like at first we were just kind of, you know, the back end stuff was a little messy,
Mhm.
Yeah.
definitely, in terms of like how we were paying ourselves and how we were injecting back into the business.
Mhm.
But, you know, it's clean now.
What's like
solid.
What's like since we're going to talk about like mistakes and stuff like that, like
Mhm.
what would you say is like one of the biggest mistakes? Like were you like just taking home 100% of the profits and like not putting it, or like what was something you
No,
learned?
it was the misconception of how much money was actually coming in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which is like funny because it's, you know, it was a mistake back then, but now it's not because it's dealt with, and like we have NCR, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Like it's
Just
like
keeping
I-
it clean, like keeping the membership back end stuff clean.
In terms of like people paying on time
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. In terms of everyone paying,
Yeah.
you know, in terms of people actually paying their bills, in terms of, you know, not having people on your books that aren't coming anymore.
Right.
Like, you know, just cleaning up and having like an actual number. And I've heard a lot of like business guys or gym owners say like, stop worrying about your total amount of members, focus on other things, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, making more from each member and all that kind of
Yeah, and all that stuff. Like that's great, and that can be like some good advice for some people. But I mean, at the end of the day, what drives your business is the amount of people that are inside your gym.
Yeah.
So that was always like my biggest thing, was keeping the back end like as clean as possible
Mhm.
in terms of actual people inside the gym and paying. But yeah, those were, I mean, at first we were just so excited.
Yeah.
You know, we just want to see that number rise and rise and rise, and like that was it, right? It was just
I
like, oh my
feel
God,
you.
we're at 200 members, and I remember seeing our system like, fuck, we're at 200 members, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And then I did a little bit of math, and I'm just like, wait a minute, we should have done this in sales this month. Why haven't we? You
Yeah.
know?
yeah.
And then you just take a look at it, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of little things here and there.
Yeah, it's the rat race, dude. I feel you. You get so excited when
Yeah.
you're growing something and you see it. Especially the short-term economics can get so attractive
Yeah.
that you don't make good long-term decisions.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Making the
we've
short-term
definitely
decisions
made
sucks.
those, and I feel like it's safe to say that we still learn from mistakes that we make.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like basically just on a back end thing, right? Like that's
Mhm.
stuff that members don't see.
Did you guys outsource that stuff when you first started, or did you do it all?
What
Like did you get an accountant, and did you get like anything like
we
that,
had a
or?
bookkeeper.
yeah, we had a
for a bit.
bookkeeper for a little while just to help with this at the beginning.
Mhm.
And then I took that over probably like 2 years in.
Right.
Right?
Yeah,
And
we did it. Like I'm trying to think. Like
I did most of it, and then
I did a lot of the website stuff
Yeah.
back then.
So the whole partnership that like Reza and I had at first was very like, I wanted to open up a gym. Reza wanted to open up a gym. I knew that I needed Reza to do it with because he had like a year, almost 2 years on me in terms of CrossFit coaching experience. And like I didn't feel that comfortable like opening up my own gym and being, you know, the face of the coaching staff per se. Like I knew that, you know, we had gone to the games and I was already kind of establishing myself as an athlete, and that I had the credibility for, but it was the coaching. So the partnership was always like Reza was programming, coaching, you know, making sure the classes are well done. And I was always kind of like the back end stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Yeah, it worked. I mean, it still pretty much kind of works out like that.
Yeah.
And at that point, I never thought that I would leave my job. Like, I just thought opening up a gym, like, it would be cool to have a gym that I have my name on.
Right.
But like, I can't leave my
Yeah.
you know.
Why didn't you just start the business and hire him as a coach?
Because I wanted him to have a stake in the company.
And
Okay.
we both wanted to open up a gym.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it was something.
I just meant just because, like, if you didn't really want to leave your job, and
Don't forget, it was still a bit of a risk, you know, and like,
Yeah.
it's always more fun taking a risk with someone else. You know what I mean?
I guess, yeah. Well, especially
That's how I saw it. He probably didn't see it that way.
well, especially in a business where there's overhead at the beginning. Like you and I talked about this the other day. Like it blows my mind how fast some people jump into opening CrossFit gyms because like there is such an overhead and such an initial investment. Like it's not so scary but still scary to start a business with the zero overhead. You know what I mean? Or starting one with a bunch, like, you know what I mean? Because it's a little bit harder to just like have it fizzle out and go get a regular job, because then it's like, oh crap, we're on the line for $100K.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the difference, right? It's just the injection that needs to happen right from day one. I think a lot of gym owners will start small, which is good, right? They'll start with whatever they can finance.
Right.
We just wanted to start a little bit bigger. Like we wanted.
What would you recommend nowadays for someone looking to start a gym in terms of getting it financed? Like angel investors, you can't go to VCs obviously, but like
No, that's way too small.
banks, like what is there anything that you would, friends and family, like what's the best / worst way to go about that?
I think you gotta put in some of your own.
But like, let's say if someone like has nothing, like, you know what I mean?
Good
Maybe
luck,
like
good
$5
luck
grand in
getting
savings.
something from the bank.
Yeah.
They're not gonna talk.
No.
to you.
Yeah. Of course. That's what I would think. But
I mean, there's some grants now that you can get, and some banks will like finance a percentage of, let's say, your leasehold improvements or your equipment purchase, but that's still a loan at a pretty high rate.
so it's pretty much just friends and families, like your only real option.
It's also like just
Go ask your friends and family. Tell them about the CrossFit gym you want to open up. Tell them how much you love it, and ask them if they think it's a good idea. And if they say yes, then ask for money. And if they say no, then they don't think you have a good idea.
Yeah. Or they just don't believe in the jockey.
Yeah, or the person who actually is honest with you will tell you that's a bad idea. But it's like my advice to that, man, who in terms of going to find money, it's tough. It depends how you want to start.
If someone
I
wanted
think-
to start like you guys, though.
Yeah, I think in this day and age in like the CrossFit world, like these gyms are businesses. Like this is a business. You know, I know the other big affiliates in Ottawa, like those are, you know, the ones that are actually doing well. I know there's about 20 of them in Ottawa, but how many of them are actually doing well, I don't know. And I've been lucky enough to travel and to meet enough people who are actually running real CrossFit businesses that profit and that you know, keep growing. So it's like having that in mind is a good thing. Understanding that, you know, if you want to just have a little bit of fun with your friends and have like a little garage affiliate, that's cool.
Yeah.
But that's going to be the cap of what
That's
you
gonna be
can
the
make
extent
it.
of it. Yeah. What, like, I think a lot of people might see this as a viable solution, as to just like find the richest person in their current affiliate who loves CrossFit and bring them in as a partner. But do you think that's a bad idea to have silent partners who are just there for the money when you're starting a CrossFit gym?
From what I hear, silent partners end up leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and
like,
it's not that's not necessarily a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
They can help start the business
Yeah.
and then go from there. That's a good question, man.
It's also like, I feel like we're in a time now where like opening up a CrossFit gym is not as easy as it used to be.
Well,
right?
exactly. Yeah, I totally agree.
Like, you know, PT touched on it. Like, there's 20 affiliates in the Ottawa community. Like, I still think there's tons of room for affiliates, but it's way more intimidating now.
Yeah, well, I think the problem is that there's so many gyms like us that are big, well-established, good quality coaching, good equipment gyms. Like, it's much harder to open a gym with one rower when there's gyms with 10 Concept 2 bikes. You know, like, that's a very, but it's just showing the scale. Like, so people probably feel like they have to, that's why I'm saying, like, money, because people probably feel like they can't just fund it themselves with their $10,000 and have one rig and 10 barbells. They feel like they have to go big, which realistically they might.
But that can work too.
But
right?
can
like,
it in this environment, like with the gyms that are out here now, especially in a city like ours?
What do you think? I think it can.
Yeah, it can.
Would it just be
all
your friends
the-
and family though? Because like, why would I leave NCR to go to a garage that's gonna be like
But
cold?
we're not necessarily looking to make people leave their gyms we just want new people doing CrossFit. You know what I mean? Like it's the whole like I don't see, you know, Closer as a competitor. I see the Good Life as a competitor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's
You
a
know,
lot of... And,
I want people to leave Good Life and come to my gym. I don't want people to leave Closer to come to my gym.
And on that note,
yeah.
there's a lot of like, you know, outside of Good Life and Movati, there's a lot of Grecos. There's a lot of like these boutique style gyms
a lot
that
of people doing fitness.
are doing weird things. You know what I mean?
We went to a like an obstacle course thing for a staff meeting on Sunday,
OCR?
and it was CrossFit. Yeah, I think the one is by
Yeah.
IKEA.
Yeah,
They literally said it was CrossFit. They had like
well, they can't say that.
No, but like
those
yeah.
guys
in the gym they said it was CrossFit. Yeah, dude, on their website it says a mix between CrossFit and Spartan racing.
Well, maybe they
Oh.
affiliated.
And
I don't
no,
know.
they're not. They're absolutely
Yeah.
not. I looked.
Well, that's an issue.
That's
Yeah.
illegal.
If they're
Isn't that
listening,
crazy?
they should probably
They
change
didn't.
that.
I don't. But I think the thing is, where they flirt with it is they don't say they're CrossFit classes, but in the description of the classes they say it's a mix between CrossFit and Spartan
I
racing.
can't do that.
And then they have the workout of the day, skill in a workout. It's CrossFit, except with no coaching. Where you said it was awful.
Well, there's they don't get it.
Yeah.
Well, that's just it, right? They probably haven't
It's-
taken their
it's-
level 1. They don't
Yeah.
know. They're not CrossFitters.
It's different.
Anyways, whatever.
Yeah.
But there's
Um,
so many. The point I was making is
boutiques.
there's so many of these boutique style gyms out there that like there's room for more CrossFit affiliates. It's just, you know, it's challenging. Like, but every time we see a new gym pop up, I have so much respect for those people for opening up that gym, because I can only imagine like when we opened up our gym, I was scared shitless. Like I was seriously scared shitless. Probably one of the scariest things I've ever done in my life. And like there was only 5 CrossFit gyms around?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like if
You were scared.
if I was to open up a gym right now, I would seek out so much information or help from the current affiliates. It'd be out of control. Like think about it. When we opened up, like we talked to people inside the community to be like, how does this run? We talked to people in Toronto, because like you literally by sitting with an affiliate owner, any affiliate owner that has been in business for 3 years, if you're going to open up a gym, sit with them for an hour, you will save a year of your affiliate.
Right.
Why wouldn't you just try and listen to the mistakes they made, to the little bullshit? Like, even just think about like hiring cleaners. Like for us, like we should have just done that so long ago and bit the bullet in terms of cash coming out every month. You know what I mean? Like it's just, we're always like, oh, it's expensive, blah blah blah. But like the value that I've seen from just doing that for us is huge. And like honestly, I wish someone would have told us that a year in. Be like, dude, bite the bullet right now. Get this done.
Well,
but there's also value in scrubbing your own toilets and mopping your own floor for a little while, and we did that. But then we had, cleaners exchanging for a membership, and then it's your friends, and it's like, you can't really tell your friends what to do or do a better job or do, whatever. So now it's just, but that's just one example. And another one is just like programming.
Yeah.
Programming or outsourcing, planning of the class or getting all your coaches their level 2s, like just really driving that home and like training your coaches. We didn't do any, like at the beginning it was just like we were all just kind of learning how to coach and like getting into our own, but we, you know what I mean, like if you
It's an ongoing process, really. Like
yeah, but now like we hire someone, and it's like, hey,
yeah,
here's a fast track way to get to
sure.
becoming a better coach, and we have our internship process. You know, like
Yeah.
it's just
How do you hire coaches when you're first starting?
I just want to say one thing about what he just said.
'Kay.
I think like, you know, a lot of people probably wonder, should I do this on my own? Or like a lot of people probably wonder like, why are Paul and Reza and Pete partners? Like what's the, you know, a lot of people like, I want to do this on my own. And like the stuff PT was just talking about, working with other people and coming to like mutual agreements on those things is so beneficial. Like it's, you know, should I hire a cleaner? Should I not hire a cleaner? And then you kind of have someone else to talk to about it. And like, it's so much easier to run a business like that versus doing it on your own.
yeah.
I just wanted to say that because I know that's something people probably think about a lot, is like, I can't understand why you'd go in a partnership, you know, because, and that's just
And then
how
people will be like, we've had affiliate owners say like, yeah, but you guys are 2 or 3. You guys are lucky. You're not just by yourself running the gym. I always say like, no, pal, we're not lucky.
we're smart.
We're smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We decided to open up a gym with someone else. Like we knew that doing it by yourself is not a good idea.
Right.
And like, yeah, we lucked out. The only lucky thing is that we get along so well. And the lucky thing is that like, you know, a guy like Pete Shaw walks into our gym. You know, why did he walk into our gym instead of someone else's? He did, and then seeked out ours, and then turned out to be, you know, an invaluable asset to the business as a whole. So it's like that's lucky, maybe, you know.
Yeah, like
But the it's not luck that we decided to open up a gym together. It's just
Right.
like it's just, in my opinion, the smart thing to do. But you'll just hear so many, you know, stories about partnerships ending, and you'll hear
Paul's,
horror stories. But
Paul's dad gave us some business coaching along with his brother, and I remember when they talked to me about like a partnership, your dad talked about like a pie.
oh yeah,
And
yeah,
he was
the
just
analogy
like-
of a pie.
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't remember what it was.
The
word for
analogy is
word. You end up with more pie though. That's all.
no,
I remember.
yeah. So the analogy is you imagine, you know, your business is a pie.
Yeah.
And if you have a partner into the business, don't think of it as you're splitting the pie. Think of him
Two
bringing
pies.
another pie.
Yeah, you have
Now
two
you have
pies.
2 pies.
Huh.
So instead of
Interesting.
having 1 pie split in 2, you have 2 pies.
Right.
So he's bringing his whole skill set, and that we you know I saw right off the bat, like I needed Reza.
Right.
You know.
But so why, for like the people listening who might be thinking about doing it themselves and they're thinking about it as like short-term economics, I need to be making the majority of the money and not splitting it with someone else because
Yeah.
I need to pay myself so I can leave my job. Why not just hire someone like Reza who's a good coach and pay him less than he would make as an owner?
Because you're making a mistake in thinking about short-term economics with a CrossFit gym.
Dude,
Don't
I can honestly say that I'd probably be bankrupt if I didn't partner with PT. Like, I had no business sense.
Well, that's the thing is like, no offense, but like I'm talking vice versa because I think it is easier to hire, or maybe not easier, but I think there's more coaches in CrossFit than there are business people
It
in
is
CrossFit.
now.
Do you
It
know
is
what I
now.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
I had a hard time.
That's the only reason
when we
Yeah.
started this business, like I had a hard time charging friends. You know, like I remember PT's best friend came to this gym, and in my head I was like, we're gonna hook up our friends, and PT was like,
Sorry.
charged his best friend like
Yeah.
top dollar.
Yeah.
And I was just like, holy shit, this guy's savage. But that's business.
Yeah,
that's,
yeah.
That's a good businessman. And I would have let in so many people. Like, but like, you know, that's part of the reason why having a good partner is like almost like necessary for the success of a business.
But to your question is like, why didn't I want to, let's say, or vice versa, whatever, why wouldn't he just say like, I'm going to front the money and then I'll hire you as a it's just because you want people to be a little bit more invested.
Right.
So, and there's different situations, but like if we take Pete's as an example, you know, we had Pete here. We gave him the title of manager. He managed the gym. We gave him a salary. And then at some point it just became, you know, we gave Pete a couple options, you know, in terms of salary or ownership or this and that. And then we were super happy when he took the offer of becoming an owner, because then he's got his skin in the game and he's part of it, you know. But there is definitely like some value, and I think now, like let's say for an established business, like let's say we were to open up another gym, there'd be huge value for us to just hire, someone to manage a gym, give them a good salary right off the bat because we can afford it. Because now it's an established business. Back then, it's
versus,
because when we started, dude, we didn't pay ourselves, and that was one of the mistakes as well. It's like, okay, we're owners, so we're not going to pay ourselves because we don't have the cash flow yet. Because technically, if you start a business, I mean, it's not just one cash injection, right? You'll have a cash injection. We'll buy all the equipment. We'll operate for a little bit. Sustain a loss, obviously, because you always do in the first couple months or years maybe of a business. And then you'll have to constantly inject cash to pay ourselves. But that's because we were owners and employees.
Operators,
So, and like I said, like that's probably something that if we were to restart, we would maybe do a bit differently. But it's very simple. Again, we were just 50-50. So that's super simple.
Right.
It just gets a little bit more complicated when you're not 50-50.
So at this point, you wouldn't, like, if you were to open a second location, your advice would be not to bring on a fourth person. Like,
it depends. It depends.
Do you guys think you want to grow bigger than that, or do you want to stay at 3? Like, are you like, well, I could never bring on, you know what I mean? Like,
let's have another pie in the mix.
Right. Right.
Like, it depends. It depends where people's, because.
What would you look for in a, okay, so what pies are you filling? Yeah, go.
What I'll say is, like, everything put on paper as a monetary value makes more sense. So, like, if we were to open up another gym, I would put it on paper, like, this is what ownership means. This is, this is what your salary would mean. This and this is what it looks like 5 years down the road based on these numbers. And then you just let the person decide. For us, it doesn't, like, it doesn't change much. I mean, it's a CrossFit gym. We're not operating a high-tech business, that is making millions and that has to pay out their shareholders dividends every 6 months. You know what I mean? Like, it's completely different. So to us, being an owner or having a different with a less salary, with a higher salary,
at this point, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's something that we've learned.
Yeah.
We've definitely learned through the years.
Well, because, like, I guess in terms of rounding it out, is there any, like, thing that you would like, so, like, your business, your programming, coaching, and Pete, I'd say would be day to day. That's his biggest strength. Management day to day.
Yeah, like scheduling.
Exactly. Like,
lots of stuff.
Exactly. Run the day to day business.
He built the website.
Yeah. So, like, you kind of feel like you have all the pieces filled, right? So is there any attraction to bringing on another person as a skill set point of view, or would it just purely be because it's a better business decision?
For a second gym, you mean, or for this?
Just
gym?
In general, like if you were ever at the point where you were at with Pete, where you had someone who was full time, like, is there any attraction? Because you guys kind of already have all the skill sets you need.
So let's just clear something up. Like, bringing on another owner would mean that maybe we need cash,
right?
Because that would be buying into the business. So someone buying into the business would be there'd be a cash injection. So, like, if we were at a point where we're like, hey, we need this much cash, then we can sell off part of our business for that. But if it was someone who just came up and said, hey, I'd like to buy 10% of the business, why not? I would evaluate the business. I'd be like, okay, well, our business is worth this much. Do you want 10% of it? It would cost you this much.
Interesting. Does that happen in the CrossFit gym world, though?
No.
Yeah. I think it does a little bit. Yeah. Not it's not a common thing. I wouldn't say it's a common thing, but I think, like
aside from, like,
telling me Austin was approached by someone.
But maybe, like, aside from
a gym.
But aside from, like,
open up another
NorCal and Austin's empire he's building, like the regular single CrossFit gyms.
I'm gonna say something on air right now. If someone wanted to sell us their gym, we'd be up for it. Like, it would be on the table. Like, it's something we would consider.
100%.
Yeah. Like,
interesting.
So, does it happen? Not commonly.
Yeah.
But
you're talking about not a majority share or like owning the whole thing.
It's like everything's a conversation. It could be, you know what I mean? Like, it could be, there could be some gyms out there who are struggling a little bit and they need, an extra, couple thousand to have the business.
Or maybe even just your expertise. Maybe they see you as coming in owners for the same reason you guys partnered, in the sense that, like, your money would help, but they want to bring you on as an owner or you guys to take over just because they realize that, like, crap, we just love CrossFit and we don't really know how to run a successful business.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it'd be the other way around too. Maybe we want to sell it. Who knows? Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I talk about that with Reza a lot too.
10 million.
Yeah. Okay.
We've had this conversation where I'm like, how much?
Yeah.
It's like, I wouldn't sell it for the world. I'm like, you're fucking nuts.
Yeah, exactly.
If someone
BS.
offers us this, we're taking it and
Yeah.
we're opening up another gym somewhere else.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. That's really
But
funny.
no, I'm exaggerating. I love NCR.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But it's just it's funny. But yeah, I mean we're digressing. We're getting but
I think it's good. I think of especially people who might be considering opening gyms or have even just wondered about the business inside a gym. The biggest thing you can take from being 5 years in operation is you guys have value to give, and I think all of this information is valuable to someone who has questions about it.
Yeah,
So.
and this is all very administrative and business.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we haven't even started talking about the community inside and what we're actually doing inside of the business, inside the doors. This is all like back end stuff and just basically luck of like, finding each other and finding Pete willing to work for peanuts to just, grow this business with us and then eventually becoming an owner. Like,
yeah. Well, and I think part of the value with what we've talked about so far is just that, like, I think for the most part, it's the thing people know least about in the CrossFit gym world is the back end stuff, is the administrative stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like people.
Most people don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you're planning on opening up an affiliate.
Yeah, like I think there's much more information you can find easily with like experience on like the community side of it, and people know that because they're part of it. But like, the business side of it, they probably don't know much.
Yeah, there's so much stuff out there though. Honestly, like
CrossFit's like gives you tons of stuff.
Yeah, CrossFit does. They post a lot of stuff. I know like Chris Cooper, Two Brain Business. He's like basically built a consulting business around helping affiliates out. I mean, if you follow Jason Kalipa and all his podcasts, like he's got a ton of good content out there. Ben Bergeron, obviously.
We did the opposite of what CrossFit told us to do.
We didn't listen to anyone?
Yeah. Well, they said start small and grow.
Oh, yeah. But it's like...
Which is funny because I feel like when we started, we weren't small. I mean, we were like nowadays.
Like 5,000 square feet back then for a gym was big.
Huge, but now it's like...
standard. Yeah, if not even small.
I think it's small because I can't picture running this gym without that exercise.
Yeah,
like
seriously.
Stressful to think about. How do we do that?
Yeah, never knew it.
If it's ever, If I was to give advice to someone, honestly, to start when they start, ask yourself if you really want to do it. Like, ask yourself why you want to do it. Not because you did some math and having 150 members means that you're putting this much in your pocket. Ask yourself why you want to do it and like seek out help, not financially, but emotionally and like in terms of business. Like find someone around you that has had some sort of success in business and just pick their brain on every decision that you can make. So it's basically like find a mentor. Find a mentor to help you out with that. Because maybe even through that, you'll realize that you shouldn't open up a gym.
It's funny because there's obviously been quite a few gyms that have opened since Paul and I opened ours. And every time someone reaches out to us and like just asks us a question, I know they're going to be okay. Just because they did that.
Yeah, I mean, that's like my general thesis on life is just like talk. You know what I mean? Like talk to people. Like the only reason I've ever gotten anything that I've gotten is not because of my grades in school. It's because of just like talking to people and getting to know people and like having conversations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of where everything's come from. So
Exactly.
just do that. Liz is showing us her pumpkin pie.
Come over here.
Oh,
we got to show the camera now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're done though.
Yeah. Well,
This will be it. I
gotta
gotta go pick up Felix.
If you ever want to open up a gym, listen to this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, or not.
Pumpkin pie.
I don't know.
For those guys listening, Liz walked in
some
in
and
an
leave
all
some,
orange
who knows?
outfit with the pie signal on.
Do you want to open up a gym?
Well, I just became a teacher. I don't know, but I want to do my CrossFit education course.
Nice.
There you
That's
go.
really cool.
Okay. Thanks for listening to the podcast, guys.
Thanks for listening,
Peace.
guys.
Say bye.
See ya.